All right, friends. One more time, we've got some fabulous people backstage that are just dying to come out and meet you, and all you have to do is yell, clap, and cheer, and make some noise for them. Are you all ready for a show today? I said, Emerald City, are you ready for a show today? Then please welcome your moderator from Popverse. Give it up for Grant!
Whoa! What is up, Seattle? Oh my God, look at you, beautiful people. How's what is this, day 2 going? Is this day 2? Something like that. I've been awake for 7 days. Who's ready for a jolly good show? I wrote that. Then please help me welcome to the stage the cast of regular show, Bill Salyers. Minty Lewis. Sam Marin. And Janine Haddad Tompkins.
Jenny gets her own.
I got my own.
You're gonna have to share with me. Is that okay?
Recline.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I know.
It's fine. I like it.
Oh, good. Okay. I put on deodorant today. Actually, Jenny, it's great that you're sitting here because my first question was for you.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Margaret Mordecai relationship on regular show is like it's the will they won't they? It's the Ross and Rachel of the show. Was there ever like pressure from the network to like get them together? Like, did you ever hear any of that?
No, I didn't. I feel like that was just all JG, like driving whatever happens with that relationship, because he has a clear vision of how he wants regular show to be. And I do feel like Mordecai is his alter ego because he voices that character. But no, if there were discussions from the network, I would hope someone would leak that.
Anybody feel
Anyone know? Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Minty, moving along to
That's
yourself. Well, we're still on the subject of relationships, because that was so important to this show. You know, as much as there was time travel and moon monsters and all that good stuff, I mean, the relationships really are the core of this. The other, lead character relationship from this show is obviously Rigby and Eileen. They ended up having kids at the end. I mean, they were...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry about that. As a writer, did you have any influence on that?
I did not, actually. I mean, I think where we find out that they had kids is really just one single shot. And I really think that everybody was kind of throwing stuff at the wall at that point. Because it was like, we'll never do this show again. Let's see what happens. Like Muscle Man has a grandson that doesn't look like him, and yeah.
What are you talking about? He looks just like him.
Yeah, there are some fun things in that shot that we look at a lot.
No. You mean like?
No,
oh,
no.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't know if there were like reveals there.
No, certainly not.
Okay, so on the subject of sort of the end of the series, Bill.
Yes.
The way that Rigby, the character that Rigby is that ends the series is in so many ways different than the one that begins it. Was there a moment of growth that you really think of as your favorite? I'm thinking like, reconciliation with his brother, there's his gym teacher moment, all those things. Was there one that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, it was one of the subtler ones, and it actually involved Eileen, and it was... I really love that we spent all this time on Mordecai's relationship drama. And then somewhere in the middle of all that, Rigby just sort of like let slip that he's in this successful relationship with someone. And, you just don't think of Rigby as getting stuff like that right. And that for me was the first indication that he was just sort of maturing normally. So even though that wasn't like a huge thing, it was like, oh, Rigby's starting to get his act together, you know? And so that stands out for me, as well as the graduation. But I like that little like hint that he was growing, and it was so kind of slipped in low key.
And that is something you were aware of as you were recording and getting the script and stuff, or that was something looking back you've noticed?
No, I clocked it when we got the script. I didn't get the scripts any earlier than anybody else did, but I certainly was always kind of keeping an eye on his progress, and I noticed that the writers were letting him grow, and that I think that's very exciting for any actor to get to play what we call an arc, to actually change over time, and so I always clocked that.
Kind of jumping off that, this is a question for all of you. So I feel like the general way a show like this goes is that in the first season, there's just kind of more random stuff happening. And then once the show is a little bit more established, that's when character growth moments start kind of coming in because the audience has the trust, the network has the trust in you. When it's similar to kind of what Bill was saying, when did you all clock that your characters were growing? Because there's such a maturity to the show, as immature as the characters can be, there really is such a maturity to the show. And this is for everybody.
Are you looking at me first?
You're to my left.
I personally, the way that I sort of viewed Margaret, and maybe this is incorrect, is that she sort of already possessed a bit of maturity. And she did make decisions and pursued career things and stuff like that. But it just felt very organic. It didn't feel like she was going from a low point to a high point. So for me, I kind of approached her that way personally. And obviously Mordecai's character, the character of Mordecai, was just doing the best that he could. And so that's sort of how I viewed that. But yeah.
Oh, I think Benson started out as just kind of the antagonist boss who was always angry. So when episodes started to be more about them hanging out together, I think, and being friends at some times, like at Wing Kingdom and things, and then Muscle Man was the same. He was almost kind of like a bully at the beginning, just a bully, and then I think when he started to have episodes where he felt disrespected or things, or there was a little more nuance to their relationships besides just him making fun of them and stuff, I think. Yeah.
You get to see their more vulnerable side, I feel
That's
like.
right, yes.
Are you gonna go on?
Oh, for Pops? I mean, I guess I have to say something for Pops. Yeah, and then Pops, I feel started out as kind of just this weird guy, and then you find out more about him and his interests and things, and that he is really into, astrology and all of these other things, and is kind of the one who's keeping everyone together a bit more, and yeah.
He has such a core of decency about him, and I feel we really see that played out in full in the final episodes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have a question about that, but then Minty, is there an Eileen moment that really just that marked a shift? Maybe maturity isn't kind of the wrong way to say it.
There's
Marking
a
a shift.
moment, but
Yeah.
I feel like we did get to know Eileen. In the beginning, she was really dismissed as weird, a little too weird, perhaps. Maybe a little aggressive in the way that she came after Rigby. But I think she mellowed out a little bit and showed that she had more sides to her personality than everybody thought in the beginning. And maybe camping can be cool is one of the places where that first started. Yeah, Do Me a Solid, I think, was her at her weirdest. And Rigby at his jerkiest, I would say. I would agree with that. But that's my answer.
Well, Sam, so returning to Pops, Pops does have interest in all these quirky things. He's also the key to the universe. When did you find out that Pops was going to be, and literally an apocalyptic character?
Just right before we started recording those, like I didn't hear anything, and all of a sudden there was this like Pop's evil twin and things, and it was just like, oh, okay, sure. Like that's about how I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, I just went along with it as we recorded them. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
They were too smart to tell us anything.
Really, you did like there's so many. Well, like you were mentioning the Rigby just like drops the bomb of, oh, by the way, I'm in a healthy relationship. That was something you did not know?
No, not at all. So that was always that was the fun of every time I read a new script, I laughed out loud at least once every time, and then to actually begin to track the fact that they were not static characters, but were changing and evolving. I'm so impressed with our writers.
And for the most part, we do get to record in the room together, which is not always how voiceover works. So they do try to get us in the room together, and that's why I feel like there's such a dynamism to the chemistry with the cast.
Yeah, definitely.
People ask us all the time if we improv'd, which I think is such a huge compliment, and we did not at all.
Because it's just so, the dialogue's just so natural. Everybody's just like so, it does not feel scripted.
I mean, we're all kind of hammy, and I think like we would want to improv, but that's just not the structure of the scripts. Like they're already conversational in their tone anyway. But yeah, everything has to be kind of like as it is.
Although we will improv if it's like a part where a bunch of characters are supposed to be like, what's going on here? Then we'll all do our different version of it, and they'll layer it on top of each other.
Like
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like
if
a
there's
crowd.
like a, huh? What? Huh?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes.
And then we'll do like our own version of like, come on.
What's he saying?
Yeah, but that's not exact. I mean, every now and then though, we will get thrown alt lines
Okay.
from the writer in the booth, but it's never from necessarily our pitch or our contribution.
We had alternate lines even for different markets. So there was stuff that we could say here that we couldn't say in, for instance, Great Britain.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
I don't know if I was ever exposed to something like
Really?
that. What would be not
Well,
allowed
okay,
to
for
say
instance,
here?
and I'm probably saying bad things. I don't know, but
Spell maybe.
but yeah. Well, so like I remember that, and I don't remember exactly which way it went, but in one country it was okay to say idiot but not moron, and in the other country it was okay to say moron but not idiot. So we would have to change up stuff like that, and in Great Britain they didn't really care so much about any implications of sex or even violence per se, but like what they called imitative behavior. Like I can remember one time when we were there was an episode where Muscle Man puts a cinder block on a gas pedal in a car, and it goes off a cliff, and that apparently was a problem in the UK. Because we don't want our children doing that.
Oh, okay.
Terribly bad idea you Yanks have.
Okay. Because of all the things that this show does,
Right.
it's the concrete block on the car that's definitely the worst. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
straight out,
definitely.
yeah.
It would be
Also-
bad to imitate that.
Storyboarding, we always have to have, if a character gets in the car, they put a seatbelt on, even if they're going to go off the cliff or something.
See, I didn't catch that.
Amazing. Okay, so rewinding a bit to before this show was put together, Janie, how much voice work had you done before Margaret? Because I know you had like a lot of sketch comedy stuff. Yeah.
So I basically trained in like classical acting.
Okay.
So I studied in college, and my path or my goal, I ended up getting my master's degree in acting, and I did want to do the stage mainly. And I first moved to New York City, and then I really realized like I love television. I mean, I just love long form storytelling of television and series, and then I made my way to Los Angeles not long after that, Regular show was my first big voiceover gig, and the reason I started like pursuing voiceover at all, other than that it dovetails well into acting and the craft of acting, although it does have a different skill to it, is that I thought, well, I was waiting tables for many years, and I wanted to try to pay my bills doing commercial work and voiceover gigs while I was waiting in between for television gigs. So I worked hard and put together a voiceover reel and pursued a voiceover agent and, did a zillion auditions. And I think when I was auditioning for a regular show, which is in 2009, it became kind of trendy in the voiceover world again to sound natural and not use as many vocal masks, like to have like a grounded sound. And I just approached the work that way, and I was lucky that they kind of liked the authentic, grounded voice for the character of Margaret. So for me, it was like a roundabout path. So I feel like I'm kind of like being allowed to hang out with the cool kids in a way, just by getting in on this show. But if you do pursue voiceover acting, all that stuff, I think it behooves any creator to try to develop skills in all the different areas. I also do writing, and I also do podcasting. So I just try to stay open to being diversified in that way, and I see a lot of my colleagues do the same, and I try to encourage people who ask me, who are trying to start out doing this or breaking into this, to do as much as you can, even related to voiceover, whether it's writing scripts, podcasting, anything that gets you engaged with the community, but also strengthening your storytelling skills, to find out where you can be useful and have strength to contribute to any project that comes your way. That's sort of my backstory.
Great. Before we move on, was there anything that you really liked about theater that being in a voice booth kind of like scratched that itch? Was there any like, I don't know how to say this, like overlap there?
Well, I think because the way our show records, where we're all in the room together, for me, it scratches that itch because we are acting off of one another. Sometimes you're doing these voiceover auditions and you're alone and, at your computer and stuff, and you're not really engaging with another actor. So for me, the thrill of acting is, being in that state of grace with your acting partner, and you're just in sync and you're telling the story, and you leave yourself a little bit, because you're just so focused on that. I feel like being in the booth with my colleagues here does scratch that itch. It's not necessarily for a live audience other than the people in the booth until it goes out into the world, but there is like an overlap. It's just, that's the best way I can think to describe that. Yeah.
I was just going to say there is also a physical element to voice acting where often if you're a character running, you'll do the motion of running to get into the
yeah.
Or look for them on the horizon, and the physical act really makes you sound more like you're doing the thing.
I'm sure it feels less insane doing that with like a group of people than like by yourself in a room. Actually, Minty, we're kind of talking about having pokers. Different pokers in the fire? What's that phrase? I'm screwing it up. Irons in the fire. There it is. Yes. You were a storyboard artist, like you mentioned, as well as you wrote, did the voice. Which of those came first, and how do you think that influenced the whole of what you did?
I started as a storyboard artist and writer, because if you don't know, the way a regular show works is that it's a board-driven show, which means that the board artists don't receive scripts. They receive an outline, which is more like prose, like a paragraph of what happens, and then the board artist will write the actual dialogue and just how it breaks down. So I did storyboarding and writing kind of at the same time, and then the way that I got the voice acting was pitching a storyboard where you go panel by panel and do voices for all the characters, and I was pitching Do Me a Solid, which is one of the first episodes that Eileen appears in, where she says, "Hey, Rigby, look at me. I laid sea turtle eggs, and now I'm going to swim out to sea, but many of my hatchlings won't live to adulthood." And one of the people that worked on the show laughed so hard that he farted, and then I got the job.
Amazing. Incredible. So all you actors out there, try to get people to fart.
I'm not sure there is any point in saying anything else now. That was,
Yeah, honestly, we're not going to get better advice, truly. Bill, again, we're kind of, rewinding, talking about before the show got started. I read that you booked Rigby twice in auditions. So were you a part of that pilot that didn't air? Is that what that means?
Yes. That pilot did eventually air.
Right.
But there was a YouTube pilot. It was part of it, and Minty may know more about this, or Sam. But there was a Cartoon Network program called Cartoon Institute, and it was sort of a farm team for their shows, and these young animators would pitch an idea, and if the network liked it, they would fund a YouTube pilot, and it would go out. And that's what they did with regular show. And it's so rare in a project like regular show that has the kind of attention that it had even from the beginning, but certainly eventually, where you don't know anybody at all and you just get work. I know that as a young actor, we think that's the way it works, but it seldom is. And so I read for the pilot, and I got that part. And at the time, I was a computer consultant. That's how I was making my living. And I had done that show. I had done that pilot, and then I went back to my day job, my day gig, formatting hard drives, whatever. And a friend of mine reached out and said, "Hey, I know someone who is a casting director for Cartoon Network, and they're casting this new show, and she just asked me to recommend any of the actors I know that I really respect, and I really respect you, so why don't you submit?" So I sent an email to this woman, and I said, I did a brief Adult Swim show called Moral Oral, and oh, I love you. And like I said, through that all, because I wasn't a kid, I'm like, I know this all goes away. I kept my day job. And so I said, well, I did Moral Oral, and I did this pilot called Regular Show for Cartoon Institute. And I got an email back almost immediately saying, well, funny you should say that, because we're auditioning for that show, and they've already heard you, so they don't need to hear you again. And I pulled out the knife and went back to formatting hard drives. And I was just like, well, that's not my first rodeo. I know that's how it works. That's great. A couple of weeks went by, and I got another message from that casting director. She said, well, they'd actually like to hear you again. So I was called back, and I re-auditioned, and I got to do the ham-boning bit. And I was so excited. Don't ever do this when you're called back for your voice audition. I was so excited that I actually did the ham boning. And they were like, that's hilarious, don't do that. And as I was driving away from the callback, I called my wife and I said, well, I can let it go now. I left it all on the field. I feel good about what I did. I made the creator laugh. I made the casting director laugh. I can forget about it. And months went by. And then I got the call.
I love that.
Thank you, guys.
What's the line? Rigby says, like, ham boning will save your life. Something.
Ham boning will save your life someday.
It changed your life one day.
It did. If you could go back in a time machine and tell little Bill that he would be screeching that at the top of his lungs in a giant crowd at convention centers, he would have thought you were insane.
Amazing. Sam, so Pops, or at least like the Pops design, is probably the longest running character on the show, because he appeared in that 2005 short film. Was that given to you before your audition? Were you involved with that at all, kind of pre getting into this show?
I will tell you, I was in art school. I was asleep under my desk in our cubicle area, and I feel this rustling, and it's J.G. Quintel, who's the creator of Regular Show, and he's like,
Sam, get up. I have to get a voice for my short right now.
and it's like 5:30 in the morning, and because he liked to do them when the building was quiet. So, so I got up, and then he had his old camcorder, and we went to one of the classrooms that was empty, and he just showed me the storyboards, or they were like really rough thumbnails, and he recorded me, just filmed me just doing it, and I thought, well, okay, I'm doing my buddy's, voice for his short. I'm done. I can go back to sleep now. And then that's how that all started. So, yeah.
The birth of Pops. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay. This question is going to be for all of you. So probably it's probably a favorite episode for everybody here. One of the most impactful episodes was when we learn Skip's origin story. It is, in terms of animated episodes that are designed to tear your heart out, it's up there with Jurassic Park from Futurama. It is heartbreaking. What was all of your reactions just hearing, because you said they didn't let you in on stuff like this beforehand. So when you got that script, when you heard this, because Skip's had been around for how long then?
You talk about the broken heart, the whole reason that he became who he.
The reason he skips. So
yeah.
It'd be a spoiler, but he loses a love, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about it, and Mark is such a wonderful actor, and he had found all the humor in that character, and then to see him play the pathos was so deeply rewarding.
I wrote that episode with Calvin Wong, and so I wasn't that shocked.
You
when
weren't
it
that
happened.
surprised?
Yeah.
What about Skip's in particular made you want to not just explain his backstory, but I feel like create that? Well, like you said, that pathos. What about his?
Well, I'll say to say I wrote the episode doesn't mean that I wrote the outline for it. So we were sort of assigned that concept and then brought it to life through a storyboard. But I think the way that the writers and JG have always approached it is with 8 seasons, we have time to get to know everybody really well. And I think Skip's, I don't know if he at that point had really had an episode dedicated to him, but yeah, we wanted to learn about him.
I was listening. What was the question again?
It was what was your reaction? Basically, what was your reaction upon hearing Skip's tragic backstory?
Oh, just like that. I don't know. It's just kind of sad because he's immortal, right? So he'll be.
It's a long time to be sad.
Alone.
Although
a lot of the
I think
time.
there are
So
catches to that, which I don't know the exact rules, but he can die. It's something like the way that vampires can die.
Right.
And this was news to me when I found this out. I was like, oh, he can never die. But yeah.
I think it just makes him more badass, honestly, I guess, because cool characters like that just have a tragic backstory.
I think I agree. I think that I like that there is the ability for the highs and lows in regular show, and that there's emotional, kind of, realism at times, even though there's a lot of unrealism in it. And I also think, Minty, sometimes you're honest, because even though they outlined it, execution is key. The fact that it's even being brought up in this panel is pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. She's modest.
That's so true. Just it's about a bird and a raccoon going to different planets and being part of a space dome plan to, was it Russia's fault? No, I forget exactly. But then so many of the episodes also end with hey, nothing's gonna get fixed until you tell her how you feel. And that I think just keeping that so central was so incredible. Okay, so I know these folks have questions for you, but I do have one question before we get to our audience here, and that's about regular show Lost Tapes.
What's that?
Yeah. Okay, that's how this question's gonna go. Obviously, you can't tell me very much about that show, but when you got the call saying, "Hey, we're doing regular show in 2026 in the modern day," what did you want from your characters? Like, no, and you don't have to confirm whether that's happening, of course. I'm not asking for spoilers, but kind of.
But theoretically,
what was kind of the first thing that was like, I really hope I get to see this X from my character? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, first of all, what you're talking about is there is a reboot that is planned. The internet knows about it. There just hasn't been a formal announcement or premiere date yet, but I know it's coming soon. So for those who didn't know that, you might be finding that out today. So keep your eyes and ears open because I think that's coming soon. Theoretically, obviously, more Margaret. I was just thrilled that they were doing it again, and that Margaret gets to be a part of it. I can't say much about the concept or what's happening with it because obviously, too, we want to build suspense and people tune in. I really hope that everyone who's here today will tune into the reboot because I can say personally, that I think the new scripts are freaking awesome. I'm very excited about it. I think that also it will, for like another generation that can just hop in, maybe that didn't grow up with regular show, I think it's going to be fantastic. So that was my own personal hope, wish, and dream.
I think for me, just that all the characters stay in it, because so much of the humor and fun is when they're around each other, and a lot of times shows can go off to somewhere else, or they focus on just one character, and I think the dynamic and the fun is from everybody being in it, I think.
For me, /Eileen, I think I want, and it was already sort of happening in the episodes that we've seen, is just Eileen becoming more of her own character in her own right, rather than Rigby's girlfriend or the person who has a crush on Rigby. Yeah, and for Margaret as well, just a little more female representation.
you guys got asked to be in the new show?
Uh-oh.
We didn't say that.
That's true. Well, theoretically, something that fans have said to me, and it echoed my own concern before I knew anything about it, was I mostly didn't want to ruin what I thought was one of the best endings of a series that I had anything to do with or not. It was just like I thought the writers ended it on a brilliant note, and so that was my first thought was, I hope they don't undo that, and theoretically they do not.
Theoretically, they do not. That's an amazing place to end my questions.
Watch it.
Oops. Wait, I sense a disturbance in the Cartoon Network law offices.
Yeah. That's the mark of a good panel. Okay, folks, it was told to me that you know how the questions are going to work. Yes, we know where the mics are and such. Only one mic, maybe, perhaps? I don't know. Okay. So go ahead and line up. We're going to start taking audience questions in a moment here. Quick reminder, folks. There's a lot of you here, a lot of questions to be asked. Please keep your questions short, just because, we want to get as many fans talking to these lovely folks as possible. So we're starting, I believe, over here. You there, what is your question?
Yeah, hi, Adam from Linwood. I love the one-liners. My favorite is Rigby, stop talking! And I'm just wondering from the panel, what's your favorite line or favorite moment or a favorite notion from the show?
Oh, me. She has my favorite line from the show, and she knows what it is, and I'm going to ask her to do it for you.
These burritos taste like failure.
That would be it.
I heard some farting.
I love whenever Muscle Man freaks out. Him crying in the shower, of course, is iconic.
For me, jeez. I love Gary's just cool deliveries, and I can't think of the exact same line or the lines or anything, but anything he just says is just fun.
Oh, I'm terrible at picking favorite anything, so I don't know. Just That's the best.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Next question in the armor.
Hey, I'm a huge fan. I love you guys so much. I watched the show when I was 10. I still watch it now that I'm 25. Love you guys a lot. My question
Okay, that
is,
math checks out.
Okay, exactly. My question is, are there any episodes where when you guys were recording your lines, you just could not get through a take because it was just like you were laughing so hard? Like, were there any episodes specifically that sort of come to mind?
I can't think of a specific episode, but I do feel like whenever Roger was in the booth, I felt like I had to be separated, like a principal came in the room to separate me from him because he would crack me up whenever I was around him.
Roger Craig Smith was Thomas, the intern, and about a million other voices on the show.
He makes me laugh so much I can't take it.
He voiced your dad, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic. Question over here.
Hi, my name is Alex. This isn't a question about a show, but more for the voice actors. But how many birds would you have to find in your house before you started to suspect that someone was putting there?
Well, I have cats, so any.
Yeah, I was going to say one.
I have a cuckoo clock.
I'm going to say 11.
Okay. Thank you.
Why 11?
It's my lucky number.
Hell yeah. Question over here.
Yeah, so it was touched on a little earlier about Benson, how he was really just a foil at the beginning of the show. I'm wondering how much his character development and growth is attributed to the fact that the showrunner, the creator, were now themselves the bosses and maybe empathized a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I think when JG started, he based a lot of the characters on his student film 2 in the AM PM, which was just like kind of like a Rigby Mordecai type of thing of two guys at a job, and that kind of influenced regular show. And then I'm sure like he must have taken a lot of things about just being a boss and implementing it into.
This guy once said in line, I've never forgotten because it was so great. He goes, "Growing up means realizing Benson was right."
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Question over here. Fievel?
Yep. Hi there. My name is Stephanie. This is specifically for Minty. As a writer for this show, were there any moments in particular that maybe they're episodes or plot lines or character development moments that didn't make it into the show but would be really fun to share?
Well, if they didn't make it into the show, that means they did not happen, technically. But I think, we've always wanted to kind of get to know everyone as deeply as possible. I know one episode we discussed was a Mother's Day one where somehow like Mordecai gets really close with Rigby's mom. That's not very iconic, is it?
I actually know one that JG
you
mentioned because he was going to base it on me. Because at CalArts, I was a really, really slow eater. And he would get annoyed because he would have lunch with me and he'd finish. and I would just be like taking my bite and stuff. So he was gonna make Pops a really slow eater at one thing, and then it like transforms into something because they make him speed up his eating or something.
Yeah, the writer's room had a wall that had note cards with every scrap of an idea, and the wall was just covered. And most of them were not very fleshed out at wall. I think one of them was like Jitzerland, La Switzerland. I couldn't tell you what that means. But it was said in the room one day, and so it went on the wall.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much.
Great question. Over here.
Hello, my name is Jillian, and this is for Bill specifically. My twin brother and I really found ourselves in Mordecai and Rigby, and we really related to the Let's Play Punchies episode as siblings. So I was wondering for him if you could, in your Rigby voice, say the Punchies quote.
Which one? Which?
Just say let's.
Oh, yeah. Let's play punchies for it. And I never understood why Rigby didn't just always win, because he's right at waist level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Over here.
Howdy, y'all. My name's Zach. Just a quick question for all y'all. I think one of the cool things that makes regular shows still stand out today is the incredible selection of music. So what are either your or your characters' favorite songs, or is there a song that either you or your characters would like to have it in the show?
I think that David Bowie closing is kind of iconic in that final episode. I mean, that's hard to top, but I also just really enjoyed Mississippi Queen.
The way, when you would storyboard, often you would pitch for certain songs to be in the episode, and usually it would end up being something that sounded like that song that Mutato would come up with, because to get the original song would be really expensive. And I think at one point, well, unrelated to whether it was expensive or not, I pitched a song by Wire, which was a little bit obscure, and JG was like, "What is that?" And then he was like, "We try to put songs in that people know." And then and then they came up with something totally different.
I guess Footloose. Footloose.
Thank you all very much.
Oh, I was just going to say I'd pitch anything Sinead O'Connor.
Fantastic. Yes, over here then, yes.
Hi, I'm Zach. Everyone knows that the show, despite its ridiculous scenarios, is known for its relatability. What would be your most relatable moment from the show, either your characters or just in general?
I think one of the worst things, maybe the worst thing Rigby ever did was in the movie where he tore up Mordecai's acceptance letter into college. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I've done anything quite like that, but that fallibility out of a desire to keep someone close to you is very relatable to me.
I mean, I hate to keep referring to Do Me a Solid, but I've certainly been the awkward person in certain group scenarios, so I think that's pretty relatable.
I mean, I have a temper, so Benson's temper is relatable. Also, like his past with like being in a band, and not like I was a musician, but like just, you know, having things like, oh, I should have gone this way, or I should have gone that way, or wondering, you know, what things, you know, in life you should have done differently, like that.
I'd say most relatable is Margaret's friendship with Eileen, because just my girlfriends are everything to me.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi, my name is Summer from Bremerton, and I was wondering, what was your favorite artistic and collaborative experience on the show? May it be like voice actor, maybe storyboarding, like suggesting something to somebody?
Favorite what?
Like your favorite, maybe like moment, like working on the show.
Well, I thought having the rap battle episode, I really never had this rapping on national television on my bingo card. So that was really delightful, and getting to meet and work with Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, that was like a high point for me. Yeah.
I think storyboarding, I don't know about one specific one, but whenever there was a montage, it felt like an opportunity to really be creative in ways that you couldn't during the rest of the show. Mississippi Queen I did not work on, but I think that's a good example of it.
I think that just doing the movie was really fun. I think maybe that was like a high point of just getting to work on this thing that was like a little bit longer, and we got like chunks of it at a time. So just, yeah, I think the movie.
For me, I think it was just like meeting and working with Mark Hamill, that someone that was so iconic when I was a kid, that was a big high point.
Can I ask, jumping off of that, so like, as voice actors, what did Mark Hamill do that impressed you as a voice actor?
For me, it's just his effortless characterization. Like he, I mean, I was impressed with Mark's Joker long before he was ever on regular show. He just has. Okay, so in my opinion, there are movie stars and there are actors, and sometimes those overlap and sometimes they don't. And Mark is a movie star who is a fine actor. And so watching him do that, watching him transform, whether it was for Skips or, the Killer Taxi, any of those, it was just his versatility.
I'll say just the actual Skip's voice he does is so intense and hard to do that I'm impressed by that. And your Muscle Man, I'll put in that category as well.
Thank you.
Just hard to maintain.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know exactly how he does Skips, and because it's kind of like quiet almost, but there's like this toughness to it, and he like, I don't know. It's just seeing him do that was like tricky because he'd get like. He would do less for things sometimes that I would think you'd do more with a little bit. Like in just screams and stuff, he would go a little bit, but it would work. I don't know how he does that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I agree with everything that you're saying, but I also just appreciated his presence, just his professionalism, like in his showing up and being engaged with everybody. Like, that was cool.
So you know about Mark is, however nice you hope he is in your dreams of meeting him, he's twice that. He's just a great human being.
Next question over here.
In a show with a lot of like jingles and one-liners, what is your guys' favorite? Because I personally, when I'm at work, I'll be like, not setting up the chairs next time, not setting up the chairs. And also I wanted to add, can we as a room do a whoa together? Can we all do that? All right, 3, 2, 1, whoa! In your face! Okay, I'm sorry.
Nice. Oh, I for whatever weird reason, I was kind of fond of Dig Champs.
This isn't a primary character, but is it in Mordecai and the Rigbys where? So there you go. We're gonna be late for our dinner reservation.
Oh my God! Yes, reservation.
I think just it's fun.
Just fist bump.
Just to do Pop's laugh is fun. Ooh.
But now I'm all into like fist pump, Mordecai. I don't know.
Awesome question. Right over here, yes.
Hi, everyone. My name's Omar. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm here for the very first time with my son, Evan.
That's cool.
And I would love to know what message would Rigby have for us first-timers to get us pumped about being here?
Oh, for being here at the con? Listen, dudes, there's so many awesome people here, and they mostly don't smell bad.
Thank you.
You bet.
Question over here.
Hi, I had a question for the entire cast. So I assume you kind of knew when your last episode was. How did you feel emotionally when that last episode came up for you and you had to stop the show?
I was bummed. I'm not gonna lie. I was not graceful about it. I was very bummed. I mean, because it had been such a part of my life for 6 years, and I never had a bad day at work. It was just an honor to be with these people every week. So yeah, I was bummed.
I mean, I think I saw it coming, and I wanted to do some different things for a little while. We just worked on it for so long, and I got to do some different things, and it wasn't because I wanted to leave this behind, but just,
I have a quick follow-up question. How long were you guys working on it before we came in to do the voices?
Well, I didn't start storyboarding until season 2.
Okay, thank you.
But, I think the way it usually works is at least 6 months before the voice acting becomes a part of it.
Yeah, I kind of the same as Bill, but also a little mix of both, I guess. Being able to, I went and moved to Chicago for a while and went to this acting school, and I worked on some animation I wanted to finish. So I kind of focused on some other things.
Sam is a good stage actor, by the way. I've seen his work.
I tried a bunch of things.
Do a monologue.
Can you do a piece from Chekhov's Uncle Vanya?
But no, I got to try to do a bunch of things, and so that was kind of nice. Yeah.
I was seriously bummed because, I was kind of under the impression that when you do an animated show, it could go on forever. Why couldn't it have been like The Simpsons or, Bob's Burgers been on for a long time, Futurama, Future. I'm like, and I was like, okay. I guess this is, but that's how I felt. We did have a final wrap party. I remember that. I was pretty sad. I felt sad. I was happy that I got to work with everyone, but I was like, oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it looks like we have time for just one more question, and I believe that is over here. Pikachu.
Hi, my name is Isaac. I'm from Tacoma. I wanted to ask, is there a moment in the behind the scenes where you haven't told but have wanted to, or your favorite behind the scenes moment?
Okay, this might be an SFW. I don't know. Our engineer Robert was really quick to. It always felt like he was recording things you hoped he wasn't recording, and in between takes. And you guys know the fast food joint Five Guys?
Yeah.
So Roger again was in the booth one day, and he was telling a story about a lady he worked with who was talking about Five Guys. It said, I guess it gave her a little indigestion, and her line was, 5 guys in your mouth, great. 5 guys in your stomach, not so great. and right already, right? And then Robert had recorded that. So at random times, we would just hear Roger go, 5 guys in your mouth, 5 guys in your mouth. So that's mine. Follow that.
All right. The only thing that's coming to mind is that at Cartoon Network, this isn't good, I'm just going to say it. At Cartoon Network, there was a spiral staircase where there were holes in between all the slats. And on the second floor, there was cereal. And on the third floor is where regular show was. And one day, I had a bowl of cereal with milk, and I was going up the stairs. And then on the top stair, I tripped and fell. And then all of the cereal went down the entire spiral staircase. And it was just mesmerizing.
Do you remember the kind of cereal?
It was, I'm ashamed to say, Lucky Charms.
Don't be ashamed.
That's perfect.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think just things about the building maybe would be kind of fun Like there was a pancake machine and things. They put these things in there because they know they need to keep up artists' morale, and they want to find ways to do it without paying them more.
They don't want you to go home. They don't want you to go home.
But there is like fun stuff like that, like a pancake machine and stuff. Yeah.
Pancake machine.
I don't have any. I'm sorry, I have no behind the scenes. Nothing exciting happens to me behind the scenes. I'm gonna work on that in the reboot.
You're gonna spill Captain
I'm
Crunch.
gonna spill things.
It's gonna be everywhere.
I'm
even
gonna
better.
spill things. I'm gonna record people saying things, and they're not gonna know. And so next time, maybe a year from now, I'll have something good.
Amazing. All right, folks. That is our panel. Please give it up for the regular show cast.
Thank you, guys.
Bill, Minty, Sam, Janie. Yeah, one more of those. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
guys.
for
You guys are the
being here,
best.
everybody.
Yeah, come see us at our tables.
Yeah.